Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, also known as the Lashawan Quadash, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, Bahashem, meaning in the name, Yahweh Shai, meaning He is our salvation, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus a so-called black man. An Indian woman accuses her husband. An Indian woman accuses her husband. Okay, and we're going to go to find out what exactly she accused her husband of. Okay, now this is from the article or the website CNN and World India. Its headline reads: An Indian woman accused her husband of forcing her to have unnatural sex. A judge said that's not a crime in marriage, and rightfully so. Okay? Because we're going to go on to find out to read what exactly this woman accused her husband of. Okay? Now it reads, an Indian judge has dismissed a woman's complaint that her husband committed unnatural sex because under Indian law, it's not illegal for a husband to force his wife to engage in sexual acts. Okay? So here it is, this woman, under the Indian laws, she has married this man. This man has, betrothed her and married her. And now he's requiring her to perform her wifely duties and she doesn't want to do it. Okay? And because she doesn't want to do it, she goes and bears false witness by saying that her husband forced her to do unnatural acts, okay? It says the ruling made in the Madhya Pradesh High Court last week shines a light on a legal loophole in India that doesn't criminalize marital rape by a husband against his wife if she is over the age of 18, okay? Now, here they is, this is the Western media putting their spin on it, saying that a loophole through the India courts says that by marital raping, that means if a woman doesn't want to, perform her wifely duties, and part of her wifely duties is to give it up, okay? So if she doesn't want to perform her wifely duties, she should be able to, cry grape. Okay? Notwithstanding that she married that man or, was betrothed by that man, and part of her duties was to give it up. Okay? Whether she wants to or not. All right? And that's why it's imperative, and in the kingdom, you're going to have more than, one wife for that same reason, because a woman may not feel like it or what have you, and you're going to have concubines and other women and other wives. Okay? So it says the ruling made in Madhya Pradesh High Court last week shines a light on a legal loophole in India that doesn't criminalize marital rape by a husband against his wife if she's over the age of 18. Campaigners have been trying to change the law for years, but they say they're up against conservatives who argue that the state interference could destroy the tradition of marriage in India. And that's what you see, okay? Just because these other countries don't want to uphold the Western, ideologies of what they believe and what they don't, you can't force your ideologies down another country's throat, okay? This is their tradition, all right? And in the kingdom, it's going to be implemented, okay? When we come into rulership, because, these other nations, they're going to be going off, okay? And we're going to have to break them under the rod, and they're going to have to learn, okay? So if a man marries a woman and she doesn't want to give it up, okay, it's not going to be, you're going to cry wolf and say that the husband raped you, okay? You was betrothed, you was given to that man, and part of your duties is what? To give it up, okay? And that's why, there's going to be multiple wives, okay? For the same reason, all right? And you seeing it here on this side. A woman may not want to, engage in intercourse, and that's okay, because that's why you have multiple wives and concubines. Because now, if she doesn't want to, you can go to your next wife. Okay, it brings forth a certain, what's the word? It brings forth a certain, need of what's the word I'm looking for? It brings forth a certain need of, fighting for that man's affection, okay? Because a woman by nature, she's not only jealous, she's not only envious, but she's hypergamy, okay? And by nature, if there's another woman, she's gonna want to be in control, and she's gonna be wanting to give that man all of her affection, okay? So in a house where there's no competition, she can claim that she doesn't want to give it up, okay? Because why? Who is she competing against? But in a society where the man can have more than one wife and concubines, it's going to be an honor for her to give it up to that man, okay? Because like I said, women are hypergamy by nature, okay? They like to, be associated with power. And if that man has more than one woman, she looks at him as being in control, okay? And she's going to be, wanting to be one of the top wives or concubines, okay? So in this society, it's frowned upon, okay? And matter of fact, it's talked highly down upon for a man to have more than one wife. Which you can, if you can financially and mentally support having more than one woman, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. That breeds a healthy level of competition, okay? Plain and simple, all right? A woman don't want to give it up, no problem. That's why you have other wives and concubines, okay? They keep things in check, checks and balances, okay? And also, you can bring forth, fruit. You can bring forth life, okay? As opposed to a woman, what is she going to get out of having multiple men? She can't but get pregnant one time, okay? Whereas for a man, he can impregnate multiple women in the span of in the span of that same time, okay? So this just goes to show you, the stigma or the negativity that they put, okay? That if a woman doesn't want to give it up and the man takes it and she's married to this man, they want to say that that's marital grape, okay? Which is complete and utter nonsense, all right? But that's to be expected here on this side, okay? Now it says, campaigners have been trying to change the law for years, and they probably more than none are in favor of this Western society. It says campaigners have been trying to change the law for years, but they say they're up against conservatives who argue that the state interference could destroy the tradition of marriage in India. And it could, okay? A challenge to the law has been winding its way through the country's courtrooms, with the Delhi High Court delivering a split verdict on the issue in 2022. And they've probably been, and truth be told, they've probably been pressured by the powers to be of the Western, culture. It says, prompting lawyers to file an appeal in the country's Supreme Court that is still waiting to be heard. According to the Madhya Pradesh High Court order, the woman told police her husband came to her house in 2019, soon after they were married, and committed. You can't make this up. So they were married, they got married, and she called the police because the husband wanted her to perform her wifely duties. It says he came to her house in 2019, soon after they were married, and committed quote unquote unnatural sex under Section 377 of India's Penal Code. The offense includes non-consensual, cardinal intercourse against the order of nature with any man, woman, or animal, and was historically used to persecute same-sex couples who engage in consensual sex before the Supreme Court decriminalized homosexuality in 2018. Okay? So here it is, they have this law, and this woman is trying to, call the police on her husband, who she just married, because he wanted to come over and get some, and she didn't want to give it up to him. Okay? And it says the offense includes non-consensual. When you are given over to a man in marriage, you are his, you don't want to hear it, but you are his property. Okay? That's the traditional, way of marriage. Okay? Now here in the Western Hemisphere, in the Western society, marriage is totally different. Okay? That's why you have women and, others like, out of order. Okay? They don't have no accountability. They don't like the way things going. They go and file for a divorce. All right? It says, according to the court documents, the woman alleged that, according to the court documents, the woman alleged the act happened on multiple occasions and that her husband had threatened to divorce her if she told anyone about it. She finally came forward after telling her mother, who encouraged her to file a complaint in 2022. The court heard the husband challenge his wife's complaint in court with his lawyer, claiming that any unnatural sex, quote unquote, between the couple was not criminal as they were married. Right. So that's part of the duties of a woman, okay? It says, delivering his judgment, Justice Gurpal Singh Ahaluya, however you say that name, pointed to India's marital grape exemption, which does not make it a crime for a man to force on his wife, a relic of British rule more than 70 years after independence. Right. And that's why it's imperative, that, you can have more than one wife, okay? Because make no mistake about it, if that man had more than one wife and concubines, she would have easily gave it up to him. Okay? Easily. All right? Because why? She knows she's not the only one. Okay? And that's what they don't want. That's what they don't want. They don't want, a man being a man. Okay? They want you, limited to one woman, living in misery. Not saying that having one woman is misery, but the stigma that goes along with it, okay? You can't go out and have, multiple women and deal with multiple women, long as you are dealing with them in order, meaning that they don't have any husbands, they're not married or anything of that nature. They don't want that to be pushed here, especially here in this Western society, okay? It's cater and pander to the woman. Okay, this whole thing is in the vibration of that mother goddess, that queen of heaven vibration. Okay, where you can only have one woman. All right, but that's all gonna change in the kingdom, man. Okay, it ain't gonna be no one man for one woman. Okay, that ain't gonna be the case, man. If a man in the kingdom wants to have more, and I'm speaking of an Israelite man, wants to have more than one woman, then by all means necessary, he's going to have more than one woman, okay? Now, the other nations for that first 1,000 years, they're going to be too busy building up and being in slavery to worry about having more than one woman, okay? But speaking on an Israelite man, come on, man. You're not going to try to put no bounds on an Israelite man, telling him that he can only have one woman. You think that's going to be in the kingdom? You think a woman is actually going to say, no, you can't have but one woman, okay? No, that's going out the door on this side, man. So it says, when grape includes insertion of penis in the urethra or anus of a woman, and if that act is committed with his wife not below the age of 15 years, then consent of the wife becomes immartial and marital martial grape has not been recognized so far, the judge said. Now, you trying to put your, rod inside her mouth or her anus, okay, that's another story, okay? But just trying to get it in its natural use, putting your rod inside her box, that's not going off, okay? It says India's Supreme Court increased marital consent from the age of 15 to 18 in a landmark judgment in 2017. Right. And a lot of our grandparents and our older relatives, they were getting married at 13 and 12 and, 11 years old, man. So, the thing of you have to be a certain age in your 20s and 30s and 40s to get married, no, that's a relatively new thing. Okay? Back then, people were getting married, as early as, 12 or 13 years old. Okay? But it's frowned upon in today's society. All right? It says the woman also accused her in-laws of mental and physical harassment on account of non-fulfillment of demand of dowry. The court order said a trial is pending. Aluwaya's remarks have once again raised questions over India's treatment of women. So you see, this thing is heavily influenced, by the Western society. Okay, it says Aluwalia's remarks have once again raised questions over India's treatment of women who continue to face the threat of violence and discrimination in the deeply patriarchal society. And that's what it all comes down to, okay? They don't like the fact that, the man is in charge, okay? And I wouldn't be surprised if they were heavily influenced by the West, okay? So this all comes down to the woman. She's probably been charged with that Western philosophy that she has, just as much equal rights to a man, if not more, that if she doesn't want to give it up, she doesn't have to, even though she's married, and that's just all BS, man. That's all nonsense, man. That's part of your wifely duties, okay? And we're going to read and get that in scriptures, okay? So let's go to the scriptures and let's get a few precepts. Okay, this is 1 Corinthians 7:1, teaching on marriage. It says, "Now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman." Verse 2, "Nevertheless, to avoid fornication." So if this man, has that need and he wants to avoid fornication, going off and sleeping around with somebody else's wife, it says what? Let every man have his own wife. So, that's one of the reasons, okay? To avoid fornication, going off and sleeping around with somebody else's wife, get your own wife, okay? And let every woman have her own husband, so that if she's married, she don't go off and sleep with somebody else's, husband, okay? She has her own husband. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also wife unto the husband. The wife have not power of her own body, but the husband. And likewise also the husband have not power of his own body, but the wife. So they are one together on the same accord, okay? If the husband wants something, that being, sex, hey, let the husband get it, okay? To avoid fornication. And likewise with the wife, okay? If the wife wants some, let the husband give it to her, so that she doesn't go out and, go off and, find herself having sex with another man, another man while she's still married to this man, okay? It says, verse 4, "The wife have not power of her own body, but the husband. And likewise also the husband have not power of his own body, but the wife. Defraud ye not one the other. Okay? And that's exactly what she did. She defrauded. She denied him the access of what belongs to him. Okay? Now I understand this is the law that they were referring to, the Indian law, but we can use this, incident to, go into our law and, show how, things are going to be run in the kingdom. Okay? It says, defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time. So if you both come to the conclusion that, y'all don't want to, have intercourse for a while, that's the consent that, you guys as a collective, as a whole, has come to, an agreement. Okay. And it starts with, the woman, the head of the woman, the head of the woman is the man. Okay. So it all comes down to, the agreement with the man. Okay. It says, defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt ye not for your incontinency. Okay? So if the man has, a reason that he wants to not have it, because he wants to, fast or what have you, and not, have intercourse for a period of time, so that they may come together as a whole closer, and that Satan may not be tempting them, then, the woman needs to get on board with that. Okay? So it says, defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt ye not for your incontinency. Okay? Let's see if this word incontinency has want of self-control, incontinency, intemperance. Okay, so self-control. Okay, so it says that Satan tempt you not for your self-control. Okay, your incontinency. All right, so it's all about showing your will, your self-control. Okay, that if you want to go a time without having intercourse, that you two are on the same page, that y'all may come closer under the, order of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, the Most High, Yahweh, then his son, his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, then what? The man, and then the woman. Okay? So it's all about order. Okay? So the fact that, if you're a woman and you trying to deny, this man's right, and then on top of that, you taking it to a court and you filing a complaint that he tried to grape you under the false pretense of you not wanting to give it up. I understand you could get away with anything in this kingdom, in this society, but in the kingdom to come, that ain't going to be the case, man. Okay? Now, like I said, us Israelites, we're not going to go off, okay? Our women won't be like this in the kingdom, because why? We're going to be all under the new covenant and be programmed, but we're going to have to judge incidents like this in the kingdom, okay? So this is why I bring this up, all right? Because this is a false accusation, okay? If this man wanted to just get that's his rights as a husband, and she wanted to deny him, okay, that's a major problem, okay? Because now that man could be forced to go out, and who knows, he may sleep with another woman, not knowing that other woman was already married, okay? So you see the issue that lies at hand here, and this is why we judge everything, okay? But ourselves are not judged, okay? So let's go to Titus 2. Duties of the older and younger. Titus 2, and let's just jump down to, let's start at number 1. It says, but speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged man be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, and charity and patience. Verse 3, the aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, okay? that woman, she made a false accusation that her husband didn't want, that she didn't want to give it up to her husband, and he took it from her. Okay, first of all, that's her husband. That's part of your duties, okay? It says, not giving too much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young woman to be sober, to love their husbands, okay? So you can grow to learn your husband. It's not all about falling in love and, puppy dog love and love at first sight. No, those are all things that this Western society has pushed and promoted throughout their, Hollywood weird movies and, romance novels and things of that magnitude. Okay? She may have not have, found him that appealing or attractive, but over time she would have learned to love him, okay? Because he would have provided for her and things of that magnitude and show benevolence, okay? So it's not all about looks, all right? And that's heavily promoted here in the Western society, okay? Puppy dog love, not concerned about what this individual can provide for you, just how that individual looks and what do they have to offer for you as far as looks goes, okay? And that's the woman, man. She's more in tune with, the in love aspect, okay? So it says, the aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, okay? And you calling and telling the police that your husband raped you because you didn't want to give it up, that's false accusers. Not giving too much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, okay? All these things are not promoted here in this society. It's on the contrary. It's promoted the opposite, okay? Good, obedient to their own husbands, okay? You can't get this in this society. A woman that's obedient to you, that's come on, really? But in the kingdom, this is going to be, okay? In the kingdom, when we get our domain, we get our rulership, this is what we have to look forward to, okay? And the other nations as well, because we're going to put them under subjection, and they're going to learn our laws, statutes, and commandments, okay? They're going to learn them by force, all right? So they're going to see, in doing so, they're going to be able to live a better life as opposed to how it is right now. And that's why you see in that court in India, they're trying to get it, they're trying to get the ruling to something similar to the courts here in the Western Hemisphere. Okay? So it says to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of the Most High be not blasphemy. Okay? And, that's totally contrary to what, the society promotes today. Okay? If you have a woman that wants to stay home and, be obedient to her husband, she's looked at it as some type of, odyssey, okay? Especially amongst her girlfriends, who don't have a husband, okay? They want her to go out and, participate in debauchery and, get caught up in adultery. And then, that breeds all type of stuff in the household, okay? So, just reflecting on this case in India, we can learn a lot from this, okay? Because by any stretch of the imagination, will this not be taking place in the kingdom, okay? An Israelite man will have more than one wife if he so desires or pleased to, okay? And for this particular reason, okay? A woman may, not want to, perform her wifely duties. Well, that's why she has other concubines and wives, okay? To take some of the take some of the stress off from her. Okay. So we can learn a lot from this incident right here. Okay. So just wanted to bring that out. Thought it was interesting. Read a little bit up on it. Seeing how this wife, after she got married, and the husband came over, and she didn't want to give it up, so she called the police and said that he raped her. Okay, the hypocrisy. All right, of you getting married and then you not wanting to perform your wifely duties. Okay. So just thought that was an interesting article I read. Just wanted to expound upon it a little bit, and that was about it. So let's go ahead and close out 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. It reads, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour." And he loves nothing more than to, demonize the word and make it seem like it's going off if you have multiple wives, or if your wife doesn't want to give it up to you, you can cry wolf, she can cry wolf, and the man could be, dealt with accordingly. All right. So this is all to be expected on this side of the kingdom, brother. So that's why I say, move circumspectly. All right. Be sober. Know exactly, okay? You dealing with one woman, that's good, but understand that that one woman in the end has all the power in this society, okay? It's all in her hands, okay? Because she, is in cahoots with the serpent, okay? They working in tandem, okay? So, especially Eve, man. Okay, so just know exactly what you're getting into. All right, if you want to deal accordingly, just understand the magnitude of it. Okay, it may be times where she don't want to give it up to you. All right, you're gonna have to take that pill and swallow it. Okay, if you have a high libido and she don't want to give it up to you, that's part of this kingdom. Okay, it's going to deprive you from the things that otherwise would be a pleasure. Okay, now you bickering and arguing because she don't want to give it up to you. Okay, and if you go out and step out, she gonna claim that you cheated on her, and those are grounds for divorce. Okay, although you went and found you a woman that isn't involved with anybody and isn't married, under these laws, that's foul or ground for divorcement. Okay, and she could take everything you got. So just be wise. All right. So just be sober, be vigilant. Okay, because your adversary, the devil, the so-called white man, he has these laws on deck for these particular reasons. Okay, to take everything from you. Okay, because like I said, the serpent and Eve are still working in tandem together on this side. Okay, that's part of the curses. Okay, Slakia. So it says, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Okay. Many have fallen to the hands of a woman, okay, especially a scornful woman. So, just brought that out, just wanted to bring that out, continue to be sober and circumspect and continue to fight the good fight, all right, all the way into the end, if it be the Lord's will, okay? So with that being said, I pray someone was edified through this lesson, and until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We almost home. Shalom. Peace.